Hey folks, Russ Bailey here. Welcome back to another BrushPile fishing video podcast. I've got a great guest in store. I've known this man for, we'll just say, a long time.
Yep,
Mark McQuown from Garmin. How we doing, bud?
Great, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for inviting me.
Hey, it's good to have you here. We're at the media camp here in Dale Hollow. And Denny treating you good?
Oh, the place is fantastic. It really is. If you ever get a chance to come down here, you got to come.
You're in for a treat tonight because he's got a local family, a couple brothers or cousins, and they were here last year, and they bring their guitars and stuff, start picking and singing a few tunes, and I'm telling you, it's good. And he said they're going to be here tonight.
Good. So sounds great.
What are you thinking of Denny's jokes?
Oh yeah, they're good. They're good. He's got one every meal for sure. Boy, oh boy.
So I told you, Mark and I go back a long time ago. We met at a writer's camp, and we've done several since then. And he's a big bass guy starting out, but we've got him on some crappie here. You were telling me yesterday at lunch your big bass is over 15 pounds.
Yes, it was 15 pounds, 1 ounce. And that same day I caught a 12-2.
Oh.
It was in Mexico, but still, they were huge fish. And that 15-pounder, it jumped about 10 feet from the boat, and when his gills flared, his head looked like it was that big around. And it went down under the boat and jumped on the other side, and I'm like this, and it's jumping behind me. And my heart's just going, boom, 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 boom. Please get it. Please don't get off. Please don't get off. And finally, we got him in, weighed him on 2 different scales, and I had a reproduction done of both, the 15 and the 12, that the guy did a fantastic job on them, but they're so big they don't look real. You know, people look at it and say, bass don't get that big. But, oh, it was unbelievable.
See, I've got a 15-pound bass, but it's been about 5 or 6 fish put together.
Oh. And, you know, it wasn't like every time you go to El Salto, you're going to catch a big fish, because I'd been down there 5 trips and never even caught an 8-pounder. But that trip, I caught the 15, the 12, and I had one of the guys from Bass Pro Shops with me, and he caught his first 10-pounder. And he was 70 years old at the time.
This is all same trip?
Same trip, same place. Same area, the same ditch that came down in the lake. And it was like they were just big fish in there. Oh. And I've never caught one since, nothing even close.
Well, you know what? That's the once in a lifetime.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We've got a kid back home. He's an adult now, but he was probably 16, and he went deer hunting and shot the mother deer. I mean, this thing was the mother. And I was like, you know, and he was excited. I said, the bad thing is you'll never top this one.
Exactly. For sure. My next challenge is on my bucket list. I want to catch an 8-pound smallmouth. You know, smallmouth is my favorite bass to catch. I fish in the St. Lawrence River a lot. I fish in Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, where there is big smallmouths. And I've caught numerous 7-pounders, numerous. I mean, weight on scales, good scales, but I've never hit 8. And
have you hit St. Clair?
I've hit St. Clair, yep, several times. I mean, I've fished smallmouths all over. Schwamigan Bay, and I just can't get an 8-pounder, but I know they're there. I mean, if you get a 7.7 or a 7.9, there's got to be an 8-pounder close by.
I've got a 7-pounder. That was on Lake Erie, and she was spawning, so I took a photograph, turned her back, but smallmouth fishing, I love it too. I love it too.
Yep. Drop shot and then live scoping for them. Oh, it's
that live scope works?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Absolutely incredible technology.
You know, folks, and that's what we're going to talk about on this podcast, because you've heard us say millions of times, and not just me, but about every crappie angler there is that's using Livescope, it's the biggest game changer that we've ever seen in the industry. And there's a lot of guys like me that have been in this for a long, long time, and I've seen a lot of stuff come that's helped, but I've never seen anything like the Livescope. And just when, and I've told people this, they said, you know, what do you think's coming next? And I've told people, I don't think you can get much better than what you're seeing now, because you are seeing the fish. A lot of times you can see the tail of the fish, you know where his head is. I don't know how you can get that much better, because you're seeing the jig come down, seeing what he's doing. But Mark, you're telling me it's getting better.
It's just unbelievable technology. And you know, I've had the opportunity to make my living in the marine electronics business.
Give them a little background.
For 40 years,
I've
been in the marine electronics business for 40 years. When I first started, there was papergraphs and flashers. That was it. There was no navigational equipment as far as electronic cartography. You had a compass for most times that were again for navigation, but to see these advances in technology go from that to what it is today, and when Livescope Well, when we first came out with our original Livescope was panoptic. It was the PS30 and PS31. They were the big, huge transducers that showed real-time sonar information, and I thought that was pretty cool. And then after a couple years of engineers working on that design, they came out with Livescope, and that's when things just went crazy. Because now, like you say, you can see the direction the fish is going. You can watch the fish come up and hit your bait. We watched it yesterday. Those big crappies come up. You see them go and grab the bait. You'd see it. Sometimes you wouldn't even feel it. You say, "Well, he's on there. Here it comes." I mean, it's that good. Well, now we just announced another Livescope, Livescope Plus. So I mean, good just got better. And when that announcement first came out, the phones at Garmin went off the charts. People calling and calling my phone. It's the amount of people that are interested. It's unbelievable. And if it was something that people really didn't care, you wouldn't have that many calls or people asking. But I mean, it's just gone viral. People wanting to know, when's this new one coming out? When's the new one coming out? What's the difference? What's it do? And it's just unbelievable how many back orders we now have for this new product. And it's not even available yet. The ship date right now is March 21st. Knock on wood. Hopefully there'll be no delays. But the back orders are absolutely staggering. So it's going to take a while for all of these orders to get filled. But people will start being able to purchase them starting March 21st if they go to their local dealer. And he probably has some on order. But if you want to know the difference, and that's the main questions we're getting, the new one, the transducer itself is a little bit bigger. You can see that physically it's a little bit bigger. So it's going to give you better clarity of the pictures, which the pictures are really clear right now.
They're pretty darn clear.
It's going to give you better target separation, and it's going to give you less noise. That is one of the biggest complaints that I'd hear from customers, would be a lot of noise on the screen, you know, fuzzy information on the screen, and this ghost tree problems. Well, now they're going to be corrected with this new product. I physically haven't seen the new one. I haven't been lucky enough to be one of the guys to get one to test one, but I have seen videos from some of our field testers, and it's really amazing. I mean, the clarity is there. Very few settings you have to mess with. I mean, it set itself up so well. So this new product is going to be better. Downside, it's going to be $200 more expensive, but the delta is only going to be $100, because the new one's going to come with the perspective mount in the box, which now it costs an extra $100. So it'll be $100 more. It's going to retail for $16.99 with the sonar box and the transducer with the perspective mount. The current one is currently $14.99, but now I see it on sale like at a lot of places now for $12.99. So it's still a great value. I mean, that what we saw yesterday, and I've been using the original one for almost 2 years now, and it does work good. But the new one is going to be, they say, about 30% clearer picture than what the current model is. But again, here we go. I mean, first we had panoptic, the PS30. Then we had the PS22, which was a little better. Then wham, we have Livescope. Now we've got Livescope Plus. It's just this technology just keeps going and going and going. But don't feel like we're cheating though, because it doesn't make the fish bite. And we found that yesterday.
We've seen that.
That cold front came in, and those fish literally stopped biting compared to what they were the day before when it was 70 degrees. But it will show you that they're there, and a day like yesterday can show you how bad a fisherman you are because you can't catch them. So it can be extremely frustrating. But it is really neat technology, and it's just unbelievable what the developments have been in marine electronics. I mean, another development, you know, was electronic cartography. You know, when GPS became available, in the beginning, there wasn't any electronic charts. It was paper charts, but at least you had an XY plotter. You could see where you were, see your plot trail, put waypoints on the screen, put different symbols on the screen, icons on the screen, and all of a sudden came along electronic cartography, which that was a huge breakthrough for the angler and the boater. I mean, now everybody was a navigator. I mean, you could see your position on a chart. You could watch yourself navigating through islands and dangerous areas. So electronic cartography was a huge advantage. In the beginning, it was extremely expensive. I remember in the early days to have electronic charts to go from Maine to Florida was $2,200. I mean, it was extremely expensive. But those prices have continued to come down, 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 down. And one of the big electronic cartography companies from the very beginning was Navionics. I mean, they were an industry leader for many, many years. And a few years ago, Garmin purchased Navionics. They had a good deal worked out, and now Navionics is a Garmin company. But up until about a month ago, Navionics cartography would not work in Garmin units because of the software. So about a month ago, we announced our new Garmin Navionics. And this is a huge, huge breakthrough for us. Because personally, I really like Navionics. I like the coloring, I like the features of Navionics. And now, with our new premium Navionics Garmin cartography, it will now work in our units. It was a long time we're waiting for this to come through. There is 4 different charts, one for the north, south, east, and west. So you get the one that fits for your area. Now it does require new software for your current units to work, for it to work in, but the new software is already on this card. So you put the card in, it says update software, you update the software, and bam, there's your Navionics cartography. Another huge advantage of this, and because of technology, you can now download the more detailed information via Garmin's Activecaptain app. You pick out the area that you want to download, and it will put that information through your Activecaptain app onto your card. And that is another huge advantage because you can get really, really detailed information. Relief shading, major contour information. I mean, it's a huge, huge advantage. It's a great breakthrough, and it's now available. And they are now on the shelves. But this was another huge, huge product announcement for Garmin this year, and we're really excited to have it.
And you know, back in the day, I can remember, like you talked, when we went to a lake, we had the maps, paper maps, fishing hotspots.
Oh yeah.
Use those, and then when I started going to these, Navionics was all I had,
Yeah.
and absolutely loved it. And that's the one downfall. I was bummed out that it couldn't work in the Garmin.
Right.
Okay. Had no idea Garmin bought them either.
Yeah. Yep. Garmin purchased Navionics several years ago. It's been a great partnership, and now if you look at Navionics boxes, it'll say Garmin company. And it's just been a great breakthrough for us because, you know, before this was available, we had our own cartography, which was good because Garmin did survey all kinds of lakes around the country. We had our own cartography built in, but now we have our cartography and the Navionics combined into one. So now we've got the best of the best.
Nice.
And it's really, I've seen this and it is really great. It really is. I can't say enough about it.
Now, oh yeah, I'll have that here soon. Mark, so we talked in the opening about, you know, there's a lot of people now that have read about the live scoping. They've seen our shows because I think we were kind of cutting edge when it actually came to showing exactly what was happening.
No question. Crappie fishermen really embraced Livescope before anybody did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unreal how many crappie guys really use them. I mean, I see guys out here that got 2 Livescopes on their boat, one in port, one in starboard. I mean, it's really been a huge, huge advantage for the crappie guys. No
Mark,
question.
you're seeing all your tournament guys now are going 2 units. Each one of them have their own transducer. And me and you were talking. I did a show with Tom Hankins. And, you know, we've said before, now, if you're in the major tournament trails and you don't have Livescope, you're not going to compete. I mean, you're just not.
Definitely.
But these guys are targeting single fish. It may take them 20 minutes, 25 minutes to catch a single fish. And like Tom Hankins told us, you know, and he just took 7th in that big Grenada tournament, okay? And he said, we may only drop our lines in the water 10, 15 times a day.
Yep.
Because if it's not something on that screen that they want to weigh in, they're not wasting their time.
Yep.
That's what a difference
that good.
maker
Oh,
it is.
yeah. I saw it yesterday when those bigger crappies, you could see them as plain as day. They were there. And like you said, we just kept trying and trying, and all of a sudden, boom, they'd hit it.
Yep. Now, so a lot of people have read about this. They've seen it now, and they're thinking it's time for them to go ahead and get one, especially crappie fishermen. But now you showed them this. We talked about the new versions coming out. You also threw in this term Activecaptain. So now I know there's a lot of people probably thinking, what is that now? That's an awesome feature. Can you explain that?
Yeah. Activecaptain is an app that Garmin developed, and it really is a huge, huge time saver because on your phone you have your Activecaptain app. You can then connect your Garmin units to that app, and anytime there's a software update available from Garmin, it will notify you that there's a software update available. It will go through your phone into the unit all by itself. So that's another huge plus. You don't have to go into your home, turn your computer on, put in a card, download the software, take it out, put it in your unit. It all goes through your phone, and it works beautifully. And believe me, I am not a real software guru by any means, but if I can do it, you can do it. And it really is phenomenal.
The other feature that's cool, not just for us doing a television show, but any of the guys that, because we all like to post pictures of our screens and this and that. And when we've done the shows, of course, back then, Joe would have the camera on the Livescope unit. You'd get glare coming off.
Yep.
Well, now you can take actual video, what's on your screen.
Be on your phone. Yeah. It's really neat. And that app is free. I mean, there's no charge for it. And we've had it for a couple of years, and it really, really works good.
So when you get your unit, get that on your phone. Activecaptain, like he says, is free, and it is another cool feature.
It sure is. I mean, Garmin's got a lot of really good technology, because we're not just a fish finder company. Garmin started in aviation, so we've got aviation engineers. We're still huge in the automotive industry, health and fitness with our fitness watches, and outdoor hunting. We've got all kinds of products, and all these engineers can work together to develop new products. So, I mean, our sonar engineers work with the other engineers to come out with more and more new innovative products. And when you see Livescope and then what's next, I mean, with all this technology and resources available, I mean, Garmin's really on the cutting edge,
man.
all the
big
time.
Big time.
Yep, and it's amazing. Another great thing that Garmin offers is product support that's second to nobody's. I mean, if you have an issue or a question about your unit, you call them on that 800 number, and if they don't answer right away, they'll call you back, and they will call you back. And they do an excellent job for helping out consumers. I mean, I hear all the time at shows how people rant and rave about Garmin's product support, and it really is that good. The call center's in Olathe, Kansas, and they are very well trained, and they can really take care of people's questions. Because most problems fishermen have is operator error. I mean, it's not the product's defective, it's they maybe hit the wrong button or just don't understand it, but these guys are there to help you, and believe me, they do an excellent job. I can't say enough about them. They're just great people.
If you don't have the BrushPile Fishing Companion app, it should be on your phone right next to Activecaptain. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly, absolutely.
Get that app. It's completely free, whether you have an iPhone or Samsung, Android, whatever. It's completely free, has great features on it. I'm old school, like you. I used to keep a written log. You can do that right there on this app. If you see any of our shows that you like to see, they're all available on the app. Completely free, I might add. Or say you've seen a show that we taped with a guide, say Davy Jones, and you thought, man, I'd like to fish with that guy. You can look him up on our guide section, go straight to David Jones, hit his name, it'll bring you up his bio, how long he's been guiding. You hit a button, you're calling him right straight from the app. The other thing is, this podcast, we talked about all the different places it's available, but it's also available on our app. Again, the BrushPile Companion app. If you don't have that, check it out. It's a great thing for all fishermen. Mark, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You going out on the water this afternoon?
I am. 12
all right.
o'clock. Okay.
Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Yep, thanks.
Hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned. We'll be back with another BrushPile Fishing video podcast.